Greetings and welcome to the Biz Info Zone show. My name is Lynn Hawkins and you are in the zone, the Biz Info Zone, where we bring to you the news and information that helps you, the savvy social entrepreneur, to express your purpose, plan your next moves, and take your business and your life into prosperity. And we do that a few ways, but it is totally within the scope of our P3 philosophy of doing business. And that is truly with defining your purpose and expressing your purpose, you're able to plan your next moves and begin to have a business that brings you to a life of prosperity. And one of the things that we do on our show is not only bring you the experts to help you to do business better, bigger, more easily, but we are also defining or redefining the concept of social entrepreneurship. And so with each of our presenters, we're going to get into a little bit around the social entrepreneur mindset, but today we're playing in our operations pillar, planning your purpose, planning around your prosperity and that which you bring to the world. And I've got a very special guest today, Jane Gardner, who is the owner of the business of At Home Business, and she is going to be talking to us about the 3 I's in home business entrepreneurship. Now, if you thought that the knowledge and skills needed to create a prosperous business, whether you're on the internet or you're offline, having a brick and mortar business or doing business face-to-face, live and in person, we're going to give you some things today that you must know in order to do that more easily. You know, it's a different world when you're playing this game of entrepreneur from behind your computer screen than it is being out and networking. And Jane is one of those who is, it's her mission to actually bring you the tools and strategies so that you can start, operate a sustainable home-based business. She's going to be debuting her new weekly web TV show called HomeBiz StartupTv this month in just a couple of weeks. And she focuses on resources, training, and advice from successful entrepreneurs on starting and running a home-based business. I'm telling you, if you want to be successful in running your home-based business and you don't want to be in the grind of working 60, 70, 80 hours a week just because you're at home, you're in the right place. Being a home-based business and an entrepreneur, it really helps in the isolation effect and spending more hours in the challenges that you do encounter because there's nobody around to go ask that question to. And so we're going to bring you out of the opportunity where some of those negative challenges might impact you. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about Jane and more about why she's doing what she's doing. She's really a remarkable lady.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's CEO of GARDNER Marketing Limited Incorporated, and she actually incorporated her business in 2013 with a mission to help others to obtain the knowledge, the courage, and the tools to start, run, and grow their home-based business. And she's doing that now, but there's a totally different twist to it, and I love this about it because now she's really preparing for another stage in her life. And her husband, Brian Litton, she and her husband have had a home-based business called Peak Engineering Limited for the last 17 years. And Jane was a technician, an office manager, and the web geek of the business. Well, she's been very comfortable around this, being in the business and operating it. And now she's actually putting herself out there on the internet and spreading that knowledge that she's gained to others to help entrepreneurs who are at home with moving through some of the challenges that she's seen and has been able to move through. And I would imagine one of those is just the fact that you're working at home with your spouse, and those are some interesting challenges that come up. And the Business at Home business has its own website, and they have a personality assessment. And if you don't think that your personality impacts not only the way you do business, but the way others perceive you and choose to do business with you, then get another thought. And one of the things that Jane did was, in discovering this for herself, it was like a light bulb went off. And she's now on a journey to not just bring that knowledge to you, but help you to move through it, to integrate it into what it is that you do on a daily basis in your home-based business. And we'll get to how you can connect with her in a moment. But right now, I'd like to invite Jane to kind of come in and introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her journey that I haven't mentioned. Hi, Jane.
Oh, hi, Lynn. How are you? Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. I am so glad you're here with us today because, you know, it's the home-based business has grown over the past 10 years and amazingly over the last 5 years. There's so many people who are finding their ability to do business because of the internet that has helped that to happen. But how did you get on this journey to even having a home-based business of 17 years?
Well, my husband and I, he's an engineer, and was a draftsperson back in 17 years ago. So we were working in an office like everyone else, hanging out at the water cooler, and but unfortunately, it was back in the 80s, so every time a project finished, we were, laid off, and then we had to go look for another job. And my husband's been lucky enough that he was working constantly, but I was always, being laid off and having to go for another job. So I got a bit fed up with that. But I continued on and got some more training as a technician. And then I thought, he had the opportunity to get some more work for a sign company. And all of a sudden, he was getting more work that he was doing on the weekends. And I thought, we should make this all legal and become incorporated as an engineering company. And so I did all the research and got us incorporated and started up our, internet. That back then it wasn't as easy to do as it is now in the 90s. And we basically got laid off in 97. We had enough work that we could work full-time with the business, so we started on our own. So I was doing all the marketing and the getting all our paperwork in order, and I do all the taxes, and I learned how to do bookkeeping, and of course now you don't use books, you use your computer software, so I'm always learning. And so we've been able to manage through the tough years to get through, and we still are. He's busy working in our office right now, working on a deadline because both of us are sick. So we just have to keep working at it. If the work isn't going to get done by anyone else, so we have to do it. So we're just you just have to do it. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to get on the internet, was to help other people, because even ourselves, I wanted to, he's getting close to retirement, and he's talking about not retiring because of everything and how the money situation is, and I'd like to bring in some income while sharing some of my wisdom, as they say, with other people about being in a home business and what are the challenges, and how we can make it easier. It is so much easier now with the internet. I totally agree with you. So it's been a challenge, but of learning a lot of this technology. But I love learning. So as you know, I usually are putting something up as to teach on Google.
Yes,
I left something there for you today about Google. So
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that, and it was great. And I have to say, if anyone is actually looking for someone who can give them guidance on utilizing the internet to a higher degree, it's Jane. I'm learning
Thank
from
you.
her, and I know many others are as
Hmm.
well. And we'll get into some of the tools that you've already created that people can get. But let's
Oh
move
no, that's
on
fine.
because I love the subject of the home-based business, the home-based entrepreneur, because, well, we both are that. And for those of us who have been in our home-based businesses for some time, one of the things that I loved about being in a home-based business was that I could get up and go to a networking event. I could, manage my day
Hmm.
where it suited me. And things have changed in my life over the past couple of years, and I've had to restructure all of that.
Hmm.
So I'm a little more online now than I had been a couple of years ago. And there have been some amazing changes that have happened just in the last couple of years. And I know that that is, or at least I think that is where this three eyes actually came from that you were able to identify. Tell us how you came about, really honing in on these three things as something that you want our audience to know about.
Well, the Three Eyes of in-home business is a book that I'm going to write, and it's a very hopeful book because I think now with the internet we're not going to have to worry too much about these. But I found there was a long learning curve when I was working in home business, so I like to call that the ignorance a challenge, because to be an entrepreneur, you have to be willing to learn. You have to learn. Unfortunately, it's all about learning because everything is changing so quickly. I just recently read Chris Brogan's book, "The Freaks Shall Inherit the Earth," and it's all about entrepreneurship. And he had four concepts that you need to know, and I totally agree with him. And that is that you need to be aware about financial concepts. You're very much aware of this, Lynn. I'll just quickly do the other ones for you. Sales concepts. A lot of us have never sold anything in our life, so we have to learn a little bit about sales skills. And then legal. We have to be able to do a contract. I know you're very aware of this, Lynn. And the other one is, I've gone blank. Legal, yes. Marketing, of course. Marketing. A lot of people do not know how to do marketing because they've never had their own business. And so when they're out there and they have to do all these, they get sort of overwhelmed. But so for me, as long as you sort of get a good idea of marketing and your legal and your financial concepts and your sales concepts, that should hopefully get you over the ignorance challenge. The other one, which is most important for home business, especially in the early days, is invisibility. In my local community, of course, we're not allowed to have a sign on our house saying who we are. We have lots of restrictions that way. So in the old days, all you did, you could put your name in the phone book, and then you had to go out to network at events and things in order to get people to know who you are. And actually, in terms of that, Lynn, I also did my own social entrepreneurship then. I went out in 2004. There was the tsunami, and there's a group here that was raising money to build some houses. And I had a friend who said, "Oh, they really need your help," because I'm a great organizer. And so we helped them organize, and we built 5 houses in Sri Lanka. And I managed to get them from a society to a charity and unregistered as a charity in about 4 years. So they always were saying how wonderful that I was able to do this. But as you know, it's just a matter of being aware of what the requirements are and just filling in all the forms and all that. So I've always been interested in social entrepreneurship. So I really appreciate your angle there for sure. And what's the last one? The last one is isolation, of course. You're on your own. You're a solo entrepreneur, and how do you overcome that challenge? Well, I'm not sure if having a husband who's in the same business is always a good thing, because he was just saying I had a phone call and could I come and get it? And I said, no, I'm kind of busy. But in terms of our business, we find that we can't really schedule because we have contractors coming every day and calling up and saying, oh, could you come and inspect, and where's our project, etc. So scheduling is always tricky if you want to do anything socially. So this internet has been really great for me, meeting you and everyone else on the internet, and starting to develop relationships here. It gets you out there, which is amazing, really, because I'm here in Maple Ridge, Canada, and you're over there in Atlanta, I believe. So it's great. But yeah, so I'm going to be writing a book about how everything is changing in entrepreneurship. In that it's getting a lot better. The 3 I's in home biz. But I'm definitely going to have you come and talk to me about business plans for sure.
Well,
for my members.
I would love that. I totally believe that that is one of the things that can help you to migrate out of these 3 I's, which let me just real quick. The first one is ignorance, and I love the fact that you said that we really have to stay in the space of learning. And there are a lot of us who are lifetime learners, but for a lot of years my lifetime learning was focused on personal development. And my business stuff was just like churning through, and so I saw an opportunity to just be in the space of learning about me, for me, and now I'm really in a place where that kind of learning is well balanced, in that while I'm still learning a lot of personal development stuff, I am learning so much in the business of doing business, especially on the internet. And I have to again just comment that your presence, our meeting, and the things that you add to some of the groups that we're in, it's just been tremendous to see the breadth of knowledge that you do have and the sharing of it that you do. Tell us about some of the training videos that you've done so far.
Well, I've been helping everyone out with Google. A lot of people don't quite understand Google, so I've been doing some videos on Google and how to do circles, and I plan to have some training on that, fairly extensive training, because everybody sort of needs to get up on Google. And I mean, I know Facebook and Twitter and everything, but Google, I think, is really good for entrepreneurship and developing relationships with other people. So I was quite interested in that. And the one that I sent you was about Google Plus public post. You could put it into an RSS feed, which I thought was awesome for people who are doing like quotes or affirmative images. They can send a person can subscribe to their a feed from their Google public posts, and they get it every day. Now, I post about 12 times a day on Google, so I don't think anyone would want an email from me with 12 links to 12 posts that they would have to read. But I think that was really an interesting. I had no idea about it, so it's great that I was able to put it up on Google and just show everybody that there's this real easy way to spread your message to your subscribers as well as on Google Stream. I had no idea. So I'm always learning, and I like to learn. So it's been a good relationship so far with Google, I think.
It has been for me as well. And one of the things that you're pointing out is that as entrepreneurs, part of our responsibility is to understand these things and then determine what my strategy is going to be. Because if I am somebody who wants to post 12 times, maybe having somebody subscribe to that RSS feed is good. However, maybe if I've got that kind of message and I'm doing it once or twice a day, that's a perfect opportunity to add that to my marketing strategy. And that's the thing that I love about what it is that you're doing, because not only do you teach on these new methodologies and the things that you're continuing to learn, but you also share the opportunity to really figure out what your strategy should be. And your having said that just brought that thought to mind, because that's what this is all about. That's what the overcoming of the one eye ignorance is all about. It's staying aware. It's plugging in to some of the places where you can stay aware and abreast of the information that's going to help you to do things easier. Because that's the bottom line, right? We want to learn how to do business and do it with more ease.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been very helpful with me as well. You shared legal Zoom. No, it's not legal Zoom. It's another place that I wasn't aware of. So we're sharing together the information and finding, and you're going to be doing a business plan webinar with me for my members. So that's very exciting because, you know, a business plan, as you know, you can talk about it, but it's just the foundation for your business. Even if you're not going for funding, it's a great way to figure out your strategy for the next year and adapt it, I think, for sure.
It is.
Yeah.
And that takes me to the second I that you talked about, invisibility. One of the, how's the saying go? You could be the best thing since sliced bread, but you're nothing if no one knows about you.
No, yeah.
And one of the things that you really do focus on, especially in the business plan, is how do I get myself out there to be seen? How often do I need to be seen? All of this comes up in your strategy, and I know that that's something that you pay close attention to in your business and with people that you are directly helping. Tell us a little more about how you actually kind of give them suggestions, give your clients suggestions about overcoming this invisibility factor.
Well, yeah, in the old days, of course, it was a lot different, but today, and it's the same way today, there's a lot more ways to be visible, and especially for me, my mission is for online businesses, of course, but also offline businesses, or what you like to call not brick and mortar, I guess, but I call not retail or commercial. And so I'm hoping that I'll be able to get these people who want to do a home business in their local community to come up to the internet, to my website, and find some of the resources that they can use to not be invisible, like being on Google or doing video. I'm finding that I really like video, which is very unusual for me because I'm quite shy. So I'm really excited that you're doing that 30-day challenge. I'm gonna think about, yeah, maybe I'll do a theme to mine. It's not too hard for me to do.
Great.
But, yeah. So I'd be encouraging everybody to do videos and get your videos up on YouTube and spread the word about yourself, and obviously also connect with other people. I'm looking for experts for my to talk to my members on all kinds of topics, legal, accounting, you know, on personal development, especially because, of course, when you're isolated at home, it gets kind of stressful.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, the invisibility one for me is a real big challenge, and always been for us. Even here in our own, we've been here 17 years, and for us, we're in the paper, we're on the web, you know. But basically, for engineers, when somebody needs you, they find you. So luckily, we've got a page 2 rank on the web, but usually they find us anyway. So and it's word of mouth and your reputation and how you do customer service. It's very, very important, and I'd like to share that with other people about, you know, it's basically sharing and making relationships with other people is how you stop being invisible. In the end, maybe advertising might help, but it's usually your reputation. Very important, your reputation. You know, there's lots of things you need to know when you're dealing with other people, for sure.
And you talked about the third I, isolation, and you know, it goes hand in hand with this invisibility thing, but isolation can be two things as far as how I see it. It can be isolation in the way of mindset, You know, I'm shy, and the internet provides me with a way to stay behind the scenes yet be upfront.
Mm-hmm.
The line kind of gets blurred when you're looking at, you know, I really have to be a bigger presence online to get noticed, because how many millions of people are online? And it's not that you're necessarily competing for that space of being seen, but
Mm-hmm.
you are looking for that thing that's going to help you to stand out from the others. So talk to us a little more about overcoming this isolation factor.
Yeah, well, that's what I find with the. I think there's a lot of people very successful on Facebook. They're getting their communities and their as they call tribes, and Google. You can get a lot of followers. I've done a few little techniques to increase my reach into Google, and I was very amazed by everybody who said hello or said maybe I'll come, and yes, I'll be there at your event, because 4 months ago they wouldn't even let me invite people to your event. So it's very exciting that way, that I have the kind of visibility that I can get this kind of notice on Google. So it's quite exciting to know that. And as far as I was thinking, also I'll be talking about your personal isolation, because you're in your own business. You're working 10 hours a day at your business. It's stressful. You don't have time for the family. You have to make time for the family. Your friends never see you and that kind of thing. So you really have to put networking, even personally, not even with business people, into your focus for your business, because at some point, that's basically why I came on to the internet, is one way, because I was feeling like I needed to reach out to people, and we've been working here for 10 years. 5 years before that, I was working a lot and volunteering a lot. So, and that was great, but our business got so busy that I just didn't have the time to that. So I was thinking, I better come out and start volunteering somewhere, because I got that volunteer gene in me. So I thought, oh, okay, maybe I can do it out on the internet as well as in my local community. So it's been interesting, but I think it really has to be put into your business plan, making sure that you have time for yourself, and and reaching out to other people, even if it's not marketing, just reaching out and starting to find other people out there who can help you and your business, as well as just being friends. It's amazing what they have now on the internet. They have Meetup. I found a site last week called girlfriendsocial.com international, and it's free. And I thought, oh wow, I can get some new girlfriends. But unfortunately, where I am, they don't have it. But you really need to make an effort to try at least to reach out to other people for a few minutes every day, even if you're working 10 hours a day on your business. Otherwise, I think we're all very social animals, and we need to be able to reach out to people. So.
You're right. You're
You
right.
know, yeah. I
I
mean, you're under a lot of, and I have a mom to look after, and my animals to look. Everybody is demanding on your time, and you have to have some time for yourself. And so I know you have demands on your time, and not that they're wonderful demands, but it's still, you
laundry
have to
is not
parcel out your time.
laundry is not so wonderful, but
No.
it does give me the opportunity to break for a minute. And for that, I'm
Mhm.
grateful. Now, would I much rather go to the gym or go to one of those volunteer opportunities that you talked about? My
Mhm.
grandson's school is like 5 minutes away. Would I love to spend one day a week for just even a couple of hours just volunteering in class, if not his class, for one of their
Oh
special
yeah.
projects or something like that? And that I have done, and I'm sure that a lot of home-based entrepreneurs are doing that as well. But there's another spectrum to this, and you
Mhm.
touched on it, to be a part of something that's bigger than you. And, a lot of people, when I talk about social entrepreneurship, think from the corporate perspective in that,
Mhm.
I'm volunteering as part of the corporation and, my salary is still getting paid. And this is the corporation's thing. I'm agreeing with it. I'm in alignment with it. But as an entrepreneur, you've got an opportunity to select the things that actually matter to you and
Yeah.
participate in the things that matter to you. Whether it's, I don't want to spend the time, but I have some dollars in the coffers and I can, give dollars to help this cause. That's beautiful. And if you want to do both, there's opportunities all across the board. And the one thing that I have come to realize is the people who actually put themselves in the space of, my business is bigger than just providing for me, it provides me with an opportunity to also help others, is when we get into the energy of, I'm at an event, I volunteered, yet I'm working right next to someone who is my perfect client or a perfect joint venture partner, or, someone that could potentially help my business to explode. And, being in isolation really does not allow us those opportunities. So we really do want to think about these three I's from the standpoint of coming out of them. And, I mentioned in the write-up that knowing these will give somebody the edge.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Doing them,
Mhm.
doing things to counterbalance them will
Mhm.
really put them on the road to bigger and better business too.
And I just want to say that definitely the social entrepreneurship and volunteering for a cause, I get a lot of it emotionally out of it, personal, personal mindset, it's just something that I feel that okay, you're helping others, but as a volunteer, you get way more out of it because of the as you say, the people that you meet and the connections you might make, but definitely the personal feeling of, oh, I helped out and I helped something happen is just the perfect thing. So, you know what? I'm going to have you come and talk about that with my membership as well.
I would absolutely love to.
Yeah, because really think that they need to put it into even their business plan, making sure that they're, out in their community, if they want to be out in the local community for their business, sharing their time and sharing their wisdom, as you say, and volunteering for even just for a small cause like at your son's school. You never know who you're going to meet. You
Yeah,
never do.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
We made some great friends that way by
yeah.
volunteering. Yeah, we had a home business association here for a while back in the 90s. But of course, as you know, after a while, people say, well, okay, else is going to volunteer? But I volunteered there for like 3 or 4 years and made some great friends. And I know sort of all the issues that people have when you're in home business. And it's just amazing what you can learn when you're volunteering for any group and finding out what other people are thinking about. That's the important thing. You're home. We don't see anybody during the day except our clients. We get the calls from the clients and we get a few calls, but our family knows not to call us usually during the day because they're so busy and they can't get through anyway. So yeah, you really have to make sure that you make an effort to go out and meet other people.
So,
I'm going for a pastel workshop on this weekend. I'm really excited because
ah,
I'm an artist, so I'm going to learn something more and of course meet other artists. So we'll be talking and sharing, and it just makes you feel better going out and sharing. So I hope you're doing something soon to celebrate your work working hard today.
I am actually, and I'm excited about that. Um,
Mhm.
I have been on this thing about growing plants and vegetable plants, actually. I have not been doing a good job. So
Yeah.
you will no doubt see a couple of videos in this 30-day challenge that
Okay.
I'm doing that's going to speak to
That's good.
my growing vegetables. But, you know, as you were talking, it made me think about what are some of the associations that home-based entrepreneurs might consider being a part of that'll not only take them out of their, you know, frame of I've got this and this and this to do for business, but
Hmm.
the whole expansion thing. What are some of those organizations or associations that they might consider connecting with?
Well, I'm over in here in Canada, so I'm not too sure. You can mention what's over there in the States. But of course, there's always the Chamber of Commerce. And what they've done is they have what they call a Women's AM. I don't know if you ever might be interested in starting one in your local community. But they have someone come in to talk. This week, I think it's a nutritionist about your health and being, you know, stressed as an entrepreneur. And it's like 8 in the morning, and then you get your muffin and your coffee, and everybody introduces themselves, and then she gives a talk, and we network and that kind of thing. So that's a great one. And of course, meetups are great, and obviously volunteering for anything really, your food bank or whatever. But I've got like a conference that's coming up that I have to get my ticket for. It's because it's Small Business Month here in well, where I am in Canada. So they have a small business conference over in Vancouver there. So I'm going to be going to and maybe shake a few hands and say hi to the people. Yeah, yeah, you got to get out. You got to get out. But
I,
yeah.
I think you mentioned three of the biggest things to get involved in, the first being the local chambers of commerce.
Hmm.
And even to do a little more, most chambers of commerces do have their little networking group that's a part of the chamber that chamber
Yeah.
members are a part of. But to help to organize an auxiliary group that does something like this Women's AM, if that's your area of interest and it's not going on in your neighborhood and
Oh
you
yeah.
think that that would be something great to do, by all
Hmm.
means, jump in and help get something started. Um,
I have to go to Toastmasters.
I
And I'm
love
putting it off. Yeah, I'm sure you're good at Toastmasters, but I have to go practice my public speaking so I can share my wisdom
you
more.
know,
But there we do have those locally for
that's
sure. And then of course there's all the local the Rotary. I know that's international, so I can mention that name. So I'm always been helping at various events and you know, like that, organizing it, get to know people.
And if finances is a consideration, you know, you're looking at your budget,
Mm.
you want to say, what's the most economical thing for me to do? Typically, meetups have no cost,
Mm.
and they have, at first, when meetups first started, they wouldn't even allow you to do online meetups. They
Oh.
still encourage you to do the groups that are local that can bring people out and
Mhm.
cause that live networking. But there are some meetups now that are totally virtual too. So,
Oh.
you know, consider that. And then your chambers of commerce, it's a one-time annual fee, and you can always attend any of their events as a chamber member for free. Typically, they have their monthly networking that might be free to members or not. If it's not, it's just a nominal cost. But they do like ribbon cuttings for new businesses, new brick and mortar businesses. They do ribbon cuttings for new businesses that are home-based businesses that they
Mhm.
actually have one of the brick and mortar businesses to help sponsor so
Yeah.
that people come out to celebrate this new business, even though it's a home-based business, and they're utilizing the location of this brick and mortar business. So there's double and triple wins in some of these connections. And Toastmasters is really great too, to improve our speaking capabilities. And that was one of the reasons why I'm also doing the video challenge,
Mhm.
because I love doing this whole interview, conversational interview thing. But I also love to impart knowledge that it doesn't just sound like it's all scripted, which I do a
Hmm.
lot. I like being able to have my thoughts down and
Yeah.
really go through and
Yeah.
be concise. And so this is a challenge for me to get in that space from a spontaneous standpoint as well.
And yeah, you're right. I mean, the internet has got you more possibilities. As I was mentioning yesterday to someone, I mean, Google Hangouts is one of the reasons I'm here. 2012, I was so excited by the idea that you could go and interview anybody in the world. It was so exciting that I just kept on with it, and I went into, Directions University because of knowing about Google Hangouts and figuring out strategy on how to use that. But especially Google Hangouts for just meeting people. As long as the other people aren't too shy. So maybe we'll have to do the 30-day challenge with them. But yeah, I would definitely just even make that a definite, thing to do. At least once a month, have a Google Hangout where people have to prove to me that they're not shy. Come on in, and we can go over, all the things you have to do within the Google Hangout. But it's and I guess Skype for a lot of people what used to be or is for them, especially meeting their family. I've not really used Skype too much, and I'm finding all these other ones that you can do, and you can just call people internationally. I was just on a call yesterday with Zoom, which I'd never heard about before, but you could call in and talk together and make a recording, and they have international phone lines, so it's not going to cost you anything to phone people and talk to them. So there's opportunities everywhere. It's just a matter of organizing all these ones and finding out about the one on the internet for sure. It's just expanding so much that it's almost need to have a book about these things and how we won't have to worry about being isolated and there's training all the time now on the internet on any subject and we're training of course as well and I hope I think the biggest challenge is invisibility because no one's coming past your sign every day driving off to work seeing you, so you have to sort of get out there and network with other people and just we did a lot of sponsorships of art shows and art gallery shows. Maybe we sponsored something with the chamber depending on, and being in we had a home business directory that we created that we handed out at events, and we had an event with the Home Business Association there in our local mall, and we had that all coordinated. You just have to get out there, and it can be hard for home business, but you have to put it into your strategy to get out, and even Toastmasters is a great way to do it.
It really
Yeah.
is. It really is. There's so many ways. I
Mm-hmm.
remember at one point I just wanted to explore so many of the local marketing things.
Mm-hmm.
There's community boards and local restaurants and grocery stores that you can put up, a little quarter page flyer about your business. Drop cards is huge in the
Mm-hmm.
California area and
Oh.
other areas where it's a little bit bigger than a business card, maybe
Mhm.
twice the size of a business card, a little smaller than a quarter page ad, but it's something that is useful information, talks about your business, and invites someone to get back to you. Typically, it's something that describes the problem, and
Mhm.
it's amazing that we're talking about this. Do you feel like you're missing out on a lot of information that has you thinking you're ignorant when conversations come up? Do you feel like you're invisible in the
Mhm.
world of business,
Yeah.
isolated from your clients?
Yeah.
And then being able to go around in your local community and just drop these cards off. And I
Oh,
was
for sure.
amazed at how people would find them
Yeah.
and use them. and contacts you. And I love your suggestion about the Home Business Association.
Yeah, definitely. Go out and create one if there's not one there, for sure. I mean, it's not that hard to do it, and it's just a matter of getting a group of 10 of you together, and you'll find all the other ones. We had over 200 members in the end, who we didn't know about locally in our community. And of course, what I'm hoping to do is sort of get a sort of collaboration and maybe a directory of solo entrepreneurs, home business that is on the internet, that's international. I mean, wouldn't that be exciting that you could, just contact someone who you'd like to talk to in Vietnam about their specialty, whatever that might be. And, that would be one of my missions is to try and get that done. It's just a matter of probably a lot of to do with the technology, but I know there's associations in the U.S. I think OSPO is one that you can be a member of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're all sort of in their own countries at the moment, so I'd like to put them all together so we don't have to search so much for people and try and find the ones that we want to talk to. It's we know a few people, as you know, in England, and we connect with a few in Australia now because of the internet. And I think it's time now for us to all share our own, get together and put it together an association of international entrepreneurs. There you go. No,
Love that.
you can do it for me.
How about we collaborate?
Yeah, we'll collaborate and do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So it's very exciting time now. There's so many opportunities to do this. To do all these kind of ideas with technology, and exciting that it's free at the at Google Hangouts. So there's no reason not to be on Google Hangouts as far as I'm concerned. Everybody should be there.
I agree.
If you want to share your message, you're going to have to come out out on video.
You know it. One of the things that I have started with the Biz Info Zone shows is a segment called Your Book and Your Business. Your book
great.
and your business. And today I want to talk about, I know you said your book is in the works. But I have one tip. I'm going to be doing tips around your book and your business. And the first tip that I have to share about your book and your business is when you're considering writing a book, the easiest way to communicate what you have inside of you is to do something related to your business. And your book and your business, one supporting the other, will allow you an even greater reach, whether it's locally or globally, that you aspire to gain. And then engagement. Engagement is key for expanding your message anywhere, whether it's local or international. And so, Jane, as you're considering your book and a business, or your book and your business, tell us a little bit about what your ideas are, how soon, or how, I don't want to hold you to anything. I know that it's in the works.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I've got like a course. I've got this HomeBiz startup, and I've got a book. But no, I'm not promising the book this year. I'm hoping to get it together in the spring as far as publishing it. But I'm going to be going out and getting a lot of experts talking about the current technology and how we can use it for all these challenges that we're having, like invisibility and ignorance, etc. And hopefully it'll be a book that will inspire people to put this into their strategy, to figure out that you don't want to have these problems in your life. You want to have something in your business plan and in your strategy that will enrich your life instead of having to have issues of isolation. Because really that's a major, if you can answer that question, which I don't think I'll be able to do, but if you can be seen worldwide, I mean you've got a solution to that invisibility, and hopefully as we get the technology better, we can all be more visible in the world. And yeah, it's going to be a book with a lot of experts giving their advice as well as my advice, which
it's going to be sort of a mirror of your TV show, your web TV show that's coming up, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's got some of that in there. I definitely ignorance. I'll hopefully help you with a lot of the ignorance, and give some advice about selling and marketing, and have some trainings on how to use Google, or how to do a Twitter, or how to even do I won't have you on for business plan because that's more than 5 minutes, but we'll certainly have a webinar at another time about a business plan. And I'm going to have a section on that called Knowing Me, Knowing You, which is basically I went for a training to learn about my personality style, and I found that that's been a really liberating experience for me, to find out who I am in terms of my personality, and being able to adapt myself to my husband and to my friends and to people who are my sales, selling to them and everything. So I'm going to have a section on that about how you have to learn how to adapt to other people and their personalities. And if you do, then you'll be more successful with communicating to them, building a relationship with them, or even selling to them. So it's one of these things that people, I don't know how much awareness there is of it, but I definitely am going to have that section. And of course, I'll be talking to entrepreneurs like yourself about your challenges that you've had, and any words of wisdom. So it'll be a very quick words of wisdom, because it's going to be a 30-minute show, so I have to fill in a lot. So I'll probably be alternating a lot with the various topics, but I hope to have lots of value in this show. And as you say, use it for content for my book as we get further on into the spring. Yeah, so I'm hoping, I'm really excited by it, and I'm going to start
looking forward to your show.
Yeah,
I think that's going to really add some, not just huge value, but great opportunity for some entrepreneurs who are either out there and struggling, or just getting started and knowing they don't want to struggle, to get through some things in a real solid fashion. Now, I also understand that you brought a little something for our audience today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the gift that you've brought to our attendees?
Well, yeah, I'm very excited, and I use this on my website. Michael Fortin is an amazing copywriter, and he has his book, 10 Commandments of Power Positioning, which is all about branding yourself. Now that we're here on the internet, there's a lot more people, and we have to be unique. People have to be able to remember us, so we have to try and brand ourselves so that we're known for a specific thing, so that when they need to know who's the best cleaner, and they think about it, and they don't look it up in the phone book, and they remember that quick and easy cleaners is the one I should go to, then you've done a good job by branding yourself and creating awareness in your audience and in the community that this is who you are. And of course, all the other kind of things like branding yourself in terms of your elevator pitch, like everybody likes to call it, and your taglines, and also your brochures and your information and your website and everything. Just making it something that people find to be unique. It's a really great book, and I use it as my opt-in for my website, because I think I'll probably be doing a workshop on it, and even just using the principles within it to talk to people about what the choice is for their business name, and as they say, the elevator speech, and their unique selling proposition, and all their marketing, and looking at a few sites and saying to the people, what do you think your site says about yourself, and your website and everything. So I really enjoy this book, and I think it's essential, and actually probably going to be one of my first reviews in my book review section of my Home Business Startup TV, because you need to have some basic books, you know, of knowledge that you have to start learning. You have to start figuring out all these things like branding and marketing and, you know, networking, all these things that you didn't know when you were working 9 to 5 and now you're on your own. You just have to be a learner all your life, and I've always been a learner, so that's easy for me. I don't mind learning. And I know you don't mind learning either, so yeah. So yeah, I really enjoy the book. I think he could make a whole course on the book. And instead I'm probably going to do as you say, a workbook, and go through and do some video training on it, and hopefully have some participation and see how it goes. It's a really good book. Yeah, it's going to probably.
I would love to help you when you do get this together to promote it to our audience, because I love Michael Fortin and his conversation around the whole topic of branding and marketing and sales and just even building business. And to those of our audience who are looking to connect with Jane, I want you to know that there will be a link, skyhawkenterprises.biz / home-based business, and that's going to be home BIZ.
Home-based business BIZ?
Home-based BIZ.
Oh, home-based BIZ. Excellent.
And that will get you to Jane's page, where you can download the book and you can connect with her and see what else she's up to, and definitely see the information about her upcoming web TV show, as well as the book, when it's time for that book to show its face.
Now that I've committed to it, yes. I am actually going to have a radio show as well. I haven't figured out the title yet. Well, I'll be talking to entrepreneurs who are in business right now, and you know, their topic of specialty, especially like publishing and in your business plan. You know, I've got you on a full agenda of talking to me.
Fabulous! I love it.
Yeah. Let's get on with it, yeah.
You know, this space is really, really great, where I've just met such wonderful people like you who, you know, have it as part of their mission in life and their business to help the entrepreneurs and help them in so many really great and valuable ways. So thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for being here on our show today.
Can I just mention something, Lynn?
Yeah.
I should probably mention to people this is not my office. So if they want to learn about XSplit, I'll probably be having training on that as well. So I didn't want everybody to think this is actually my office. I don't have a fancy office like this. So I'm in my in the den with my cat. Hopefully, not going to come across the window. So just like everybody else, I'm you know, but I'm going to have my virtual set, I think. It looks good.
You know, I love it. I'm very partial to my background here too, with my.
It's great to see that you exercise.
You know, but I've got my green screen now, so it's just a matter of, and I've uploaded XSplit. It's just a matter of getting through those last couple of stages, and our audience will likely see me showing up. Differently. I want to get through this 30-day challenge and make
that's
that part of the topic that we're moving through. So there's you inspired me to do that too. I have to thank you for that. It was really great.
It's not hard. As you say, it's just a matter of learning it. So I have some training on that, but I got to tidy up the training. So yeah, I love it. It makes it look very professional, and I won't show it off today because we're on your show, but I'll probably show it off someday on the internet. Who knows? Show how it works.
If you decide to do a paid course around it, I'd love to take a segment of this show to introduce that, so
Oh,
that
okay.
you can have, my audience, our audience, to get involved with it if it's something that they choose to do. And the thing that I really liked is that, you can have all of this great equipment. I mean, you can spend
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of thousands of dollars on video, microphone, and the like, lights. However, this has just come to the realm of, my green screen costs $2.
That's
I
excellent.
I already had my microphone, and it's really a low-tech Logitech, but it works really great. And if you've got stuff that works, you don't need anything else. You maybe need
No.
some lighting, because that's probably the biggest challenge that I've had, was figuring out the lighting. And so with that said, if that's your biggest expense, that can also be an under $10 kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So to really consider setting yourself up into something that's a professional setting, if you're going to do video, if you're going to do live video, consider that, and consider Jane's training. It's been amazing to me to have learned the stuff about being in the video scene, and then seeing her set up her set, because we both took this training, and it just appeared to be a little more than the training, or in
Mm-hmm.
the training. Then when I saw Jane go through it, it was like,
Yep.
okay,
Easy peasy.
yeah,
Easy peasy.
yeah.
Anyone can do it.
Mm,
Yeah. So anyway, sorry, let's wrap it up, I guess. I better get
yeah,
back to work.
yeah. Well, again, thanks so much for being on the show today. It's
Oh,
been
you're
a
welcome.
pleasure having this talk with you. The 3 I's to home-based business and home-based entrepreneurs, a way that you can now identify those 3 I's, and you've got
Mm-hmm.
tools in your toolbox now to overcome them if they've been issues for you. And now that you know it, they don't have to be any
Mm-hmm.
longer.
No.
Thank you, Jane Gardner of Home Based Business at Home, and TV show, her Blog Talk radio show, and a
Oh.
book.
Oh no! Pressure, pressure. Yeah, all this month. Okay, thank you very much, Lynn.
You
Thank you
are
for inviting me.
welcome.
I'll see you next time when I'm got my book, hopefully. Or
Okay,
sooner.
you're on.
Yeah,
You're
thanks.
on.
Okay, thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone, for joining us today. You've been in the zone, the Biz Info Zone. My name is Lynn Hawkins, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.